Last night, I couldn't help but watch a game most people would, understandably, completely ignore. The Wizards versus the Pacers. A 2-15 team versus a somehow even worse 2-16 team that featured NBA basketball at its absolute worst. Only, this game was actually special, because if we zoomed out, we realized, wait just 1 second, are we somehow watching the worst matchup in NBA history? Now, why do I say this? Well, only 11 teams have ever finished with less than 15 wins over the course of a full 82 game season. On Friday night, the Wizards were on pace to win 10 games, and the Pacers, who just made the NBA championship last season, were on pace to win 9. Gross and absurdly rare. The Charlotte Bobcats won just 7 games in the 2012 season, but that was a shortened year. For a full 82 game season, the 1973 Sixers and 2016 Sixers are the 2 worst teams of all time with, would you look at that, 9 and 10 wins. But don't feel bad for Sixers fans. Tanking in 2016 landed them, Ben Simmons. And the Wizards are not just bad, they are inventing new ways to lose. Against the 76ers, let's watch here as...
It's go time right now. I don't want BK to fall in the trap of leaving his second unit out there unless they start doing that.
A 3 by Cam Whitmore gives them a 17-point lead in the 4th quarter, which they proceeded to choke away little by little before Chris Middleton missed a game winner and Washington lost this game in overtime. A symbol for things to come. And the fans are responding to this as they should be.
Dead in there. It was dead in Capital One.
But speaking of symbols, we need to watch this video of Pascal Siakam.
Oreos and chocolate chips and nice meal here in the press room.
Clearly, we can see here that losing is breaking a man who was just in Game 7 playing for an NBA championship. But I will say, at least compared to most awful teams, the Indiana Pacers do have a lot of talent on their roster. People have questioned the Miles Turner move, but Pascal Siakam is an all-star guy. Benedict Mathurin has been hurt, but he's averaging a career-high 23 points per game when he's on the court. Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Jarris Walker, they are all solid pieces who, when Tyrese Haliburton returns, will go back to the players they are supposed to be. Role players who complement the 2 stars on this team. And while we are watching a historically bad season, trust me when I say the numbers I'm about to share will actually shock you. There is a chance that Indiana's accidental tank this season is actually going to lead them to the best situation possible, because we have seen this situation happen before. A torn Achilles for Tyrese Haliburton in Game 7 of the finals was of course devastating, but there could be light at the end of the tunnel here. Back in 1996, the Spurs could not get over the hump with Hall of Fame center David Robinson. Robinson was the league's MVP in 1995, but San Antonio just could never make even the finals with him. And the 97 Spurs were projected to win 50 games again only. Just 6 games into the season, David Robinson broke his foot. That meant the Spurs won just 20 games and boom, they got the first pick and the missing piece they needed in Tim Duncan. Duncan went on to win 5 championships and is known as the greatest power forward to ever live. Could Haliburton's injury land the Pacers their own Tim Duncan type of moment in a loaded 2026 draft class? It is possible. But let's also listen to this. I've mentioned the Pacers and Wizards have been historically bad, but what I haven't mentioned yet is that somehow we're actually watching some of the worst teams in basketball ever. Multiple of them. The New Orleans Pelicans and Brooklyn Nets have also began this season in the bottom 20 of all time in win percentage. Throughout the entire NBA, there has never been one other single year where we have seen 2 teams in the bottom 20. This year, we have 4. The Pacers at least do have a franchise-type player in Tyrese Haliburton. The Wizards are hoping that man becomes Alex Sarr. And I'm hoping you like my new channel where I just did a deep dive on why you never make Luka Doncic angry. Please go show some love. The video will be in the description. It'll be a card. It will be the end screen. It'll be everywhere. Continuing on here. And the unfortunate reality here is that with both teams, we're watching losses pile up at the worst possible time. Right now, the 3 worst teams in the league all get the same lottery odds, only a 14% chance at the number 1 pick. The worst team in the league has just a 52.1% chance to even get a top 4 pick. We saw this just last year. The Jazz had the worst record in the league. They got pick number 5. The Wizards had the second worst record. They got pick number 6. So tanking no longer leads to a guaranteed great pick, but teams are losing at an alarming rate, and this gets even more interesting when we realize one thing. We're currently living on opposite sides of an NBA spectrum. The Thunder are on pace to break the wins record this year. In fact, headed into Friday, they are projected to have 78 wins. They also have the highest win margin of any team in NBA history. The Wizards currently have the second worst win margin of any team in NBA history, as only the 1993 Dallas Mavericks were losing games by more points. But what we need to focus on here is the gap between the NBA's rich and the NBA's poor. It's at an all-time high. When it comes to win margin alone, currently 5 of the worst 20 win margins ever are taking place this very season. Why is this happening? Because honestly, all of this is very strange. We were told by the NBA itself that they wanted to create more parity, less super teams, and that adjusting things like the draft lottery odds and creating the second apron for the NBA salary cap were going to give us a more balanced league. Only we have the opposite. 8 teams in the NBA are projected to win 56 games or more this season. 6 teams right now are on pace to have 60 wins or more. And with win margin, yes, the Thunder have the best ever, but there are also 2 other teams, the Rockets and Nuggets, who are in the top 20 all time. Why? Because the difference between a well-run franchise and a poorly run one has never been more apparent. Superstars are playing a role here. The Thunder would not be a super team without Shea. The Nuggets could not do this without Jokic, but the Rockets are built as a team. They're missing Fred VanVleet, so clearly there is more to this split than just star power. And maybe with all of these new rules, maybe making things more complicated has meant that if you have a great front office, you are now going to be set. If your front office sucks, good luck. The Thunder built their current super team through 1 draft pick of their own, Chet Holmgren. I know you're thinking Jalen Williams, but 1 second, because the Thunder made the trade of the decade, moving Paul George at his absolute highest for 5 first-round picks and 2 other pick swaps. In that trade, they also got a future MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and one of those picks became Jalen Williams. Now let's contrast that with the Washington Wizards. In 2017, the Wizards, I know this sounds crazy, were seen as a potential NBA champion dark horse going forward. They lost to the Boston Celtics in 7 games in the second round, and the combination of John Wall and Bradley Beal looked lethal. They were supposed to dominate the NBA for years to come. People were saying this was potentially going to be the best backcourt in the NBA. So what happened? Well, things crashed very quickly. Both John Wall and Bradley Beal began to suffer injury after injury, and after a 2020 season that saw them win 25 games, the Wizards did what was right. They decided to blow it up and trade John Wall for young talent. Oh wait, they traded him and a lottery protected first-round pick for Russell Westbrook. Luckily, the Wizards were able to move Westbrook for a trade package that included Kyle Kuzma. And with their new super team of Kuzma, Beal, and Kristaps Porzingis, who they kind of stole from the Dallas Mavericks, in the 2022 season, the Wizards won a grand total of 35 games. With their core here, there was no future, so what did they do? They signed Bradley Beal to a supermax, and they also gave him a no-trade clause. They then traded Kristaps Porzingis to the Celtics for essentially nothing. They got Tyus Jones, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, and Julian Phillips back. How? But at least they do have a promising young star, right? In 2020, the Wizards took Deni Avdija with the 9th pick, a home run. Deni is still just 24. Somehow you'll hear that he didn't fit the Wizards' tanking timeline, so they traded an all-star talent for Bub Carrington, who is right now averaging 6.5 points per game, and a 2029 first-round pick. By the way, that Bub Carrington pick, somehow Washington had sent that pick away in the Kristaps Porzingis trade. Then they traded Deni Avdija to get it back. It's just incredible. Kuzma was traded away at his lowest. Beal was traded away again at a low. The Wizards have been awful. They've had talent to make moves, but they've gotten no franchise type pieces back in a complete tank job. Again, we look at the Thunder, who pulled off a masterclass in their rebuild, or the Celtics after the Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce era, who did the same thing. They traded future draft picks with the Nets that became Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the guys they won a championship with. We have seen in the NBA, if you have a great front office, you can blow it up and you can build yourself a legit juggernaut of a franchise. But if your front office sucks, you're in serious trouble. Now, Alex Sarr is the one bright spot here. He could be a special player. I will give Washington that. Sarr's numbers have skyrocketed from his rookie season. He's now averaging 18.7 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 2 blocks a game as a 20-year-old. We love that for them. Number 6 pick Trey Johnson might be really good one day. Keyshawn George is having a solid second season. But when you compare what the Wizards have done with other franchises, it's like they want to be bad for the next decade. They are the ultimate warning of you need to gauge your future and trade your best pieces when their value is actually high, not give them a max contract and then hope that things miraculously work out. So it turns out Friday's game was not a forgettable game. It actually might be remembered as the time when two of the worst teams ever played each other, and even though someone technically won on the court, no one was winning long term. And there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like this video, I think you're going to like these videos that are on the screen right now. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You are awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day and peace.